It's that time of year again. It is all about curriculum season, and these are going to be my choices for next year. Grab a cup of whatever and let's just get started. If you're new here, I'm Nikki. I'm a homeschool mom to an only child going into the 5th grade. And I would love it if you would subscribe. I share everything mom life, curriculum, reviews, all that jazz. And this year has been kind of easy for me in what I decided to pick for our curriculum. So this should be quite quick, but if you have any comments for me, leave them down below. If you would like to see anything more in depth, leave it down below. But today I want to talk to you about our language arts picks for the upcoming school year. Let's dive in. So we have kind of gotten away from spelling in the last year. I've just been kind of letting her go through spelling in other curriculums that we have, but we haven't had a formal spelling curriculum this past year. And it worked for us then, but I started to notice that she was starting to find words that she couldn't spell. So I picked up our tried and true from the past, Evan Moore spelling. I loved it. I'm not sure why we stopped it in the past, but I truly loved the way that it was laid out. It would give you your list of words. It would make you copy it, write it down, and then it had some activities to go with it. So this is kind of like a day 1, day 2, day 3. It just doesn't say that. It just says week, whatever. And I got grade 5 for grade 5. So we're going to be doing that for spelling. For in the past we've done a lot of all-in-ones, but I have decided this year that we're going to kind of veer away from that. And so this is me piecing it out on my own. So we're going to be doing the Zahner Bloser handwriting level 4. We haven't quite finished level 3 yet, but I'm confident that she'll be able to do that and still finish level 4. I'm not really worried about levels when it comes to handwriting because we are just kind of taking our time. She's only doing this like maybe once or twice a week, and so it's just going to take her longer to get through it. I don't make her practice this every day because she practices handwriting and other things. And for her actual writing curriculum this year, she's been choosing to write in cursive. So to me, that's a win. If we happen to finish those handwriting things, then I also have the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. I think I just picked this up as something different to do while it would switch things up for her for a little bit, and we'll see. If we get to it, we get to it. If we don't, I'm not concerned. But we are going to be doing the same writing curriculum that we did last year. And we're going to be continuing with My Father's World writing skills for today, grade 5. I'm confident that we will finish it. This last year, we kind of took a break from writing in our 4th grade year until about midway through. And so we've only been doing writing since January. So we're not too far into the 4th grade book, and we're about halfway. So I think we'll finish that book up first, and then we'll move on to this, as we'll be doing this the whole school year now that I know that she's more than capable of completing these assignments. They're very small, to the point. She enjoys doing them. It's a lot of free choice writing, which has been super, super, super helpful. It's not, hey, write about this. A lot of the times it's kind of, hey, write about this, but it goes into like them picking the topic kind of thing. So this has been a big winner in our homeschool. To me, it's a gentle approach. Now, I've had this on my shelf for a few years, and I think we're finally at the point in our grammar where we're going to use it. We're going to be doing the nose tree version of Fix-It Grammar. We're just going to start here because we can. I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous. I'm not sure how this is going to go. I think because we worked on a lot of the context over the last 2 years that she should be pretty solid in her grammar to understand this, and I feel like it's a very gentle approach that she'll be able to do efficiently. The other thing is, I know this is for grades 3 and 4, but I'm considering, now that we're at a point I feel like she would understand this better, we're gonna try to dabble into word roots. I honestly thought I was going to sell this because I didn't think we would have or a need, or just like, I didn't think she'd understand it, but I think that this will help her with her spelling by breaking down those prefixes and suffixes and all of the things and learning how to break apart the word that I'm not sure she would get in her spelling book. So I think both will be really good back and forth. So lastly, we have reading. Now, this took me quite a bit of time to figure out what I wanted to do. I had a large list of books that I wanted to touch this year and make kind of like my own unit studies with them. And ultimately, I didn't feel like that would be my best move. Can I do it? Yes. Do I have time to do it? Sometimes. But I found that I came across this curriculum and I thought, you know what? We're just gonna try it because what's there to lose at this point? And there were books that were not on my radar. And so we are going to attempt to try the Hearth and Story, just their novel units from their curriculum. They do offer a language arts curriculum, but we're not going to do the whole thing as I have other pieces. We just needed the story component. I really liked how they broke this down. This layout seems like just what we need. So I got the literature bundle, and how it gives you a suggested order, and I'm just going to read to you what their theme is for their 5th grade level. All 4 novels in Hearth and Story 5th grade contribute to the year's theme of the stories we are told. Students will embark on a thought-provoking journey through the narratives of 4 captivating novels in which young protagonists confront the pervasive narratives that society weaves around them. These compelling stories delve into the tales society tells us about identity, class, ways of knowing, history, and the mechanisms shaping our world. The protagonists live in 4 different universes, but they have something important in common. They bravely question the status quo, challenging the stories handed down to them. Fueled by the desire for change, these young minds embark on transformative journeys, eventually redefining their worlds. The stories we are told invite students to ponder the stories that shape our perceptions, encouraging introspection and inspiring a quest for personal and societal growth. On this exploration, students will ask big questions and witness the power of young voices to rewrite the stories that define us. So, this is their reading schedule for the year. Now, I know you're saying, wow, that's it? Like, that's all that there's to it? There's more. So, this is why I really liked it. So, it starts with Over the Moon, which is this book. It is pretty thick. It has no pictures, but the chapters are pretty short. I'm really excited about this one. So this one says to complete over about 29 days. And you are to pretty much read a chapter per day through the novels. and then you're going to complete a short story in between each novel that you finish across one school week. So, and then you're also to study approximately one poem each week. So I also in the bundle, it gives you all the poems that you need for the year. So that's really nice. It has, the poems are in the printout as well. So they have all the poems that you will need attached in the printout. Really looking forward to this curriculum. So next that she would read after Over the Moon is The Emperor's New Clothes, which is over the course of about 3 days. This is included in the curriculum. So she has Over the Moon here for her to complete with the book. So it's like kind of like its own unit study that is created for me. And then she has but anyway, so they give you the short story. So then you would take 3 days or a week, whatever, to go over the short story that they provide. Then it goes into Gregor the Overlander by Suzanne Collins, another thick book. These are not picture books. They are just basic chapter books. So then she would study this book and go over the novel unit for the next 30 days. After that, then she would go into another short story called The Steadfast Tin Soldier, again over about 3 days. Then she would be moving on to the last map maker, and this is going to be about 45 days of a read. Yeah, the print, every book has a decent, good print. So this is for ages 8 to 12. It is a very thick book. So then she would move on to that one. Then she would go on to the last short story called The Nightingale for another 3 days. So it kind of breaks up the reading from like reading a really thick novel to just kind of delving into a different piece of writing or reading through a short story, as I feel like we don't read a ton of short stories unless we go to the library. So the last book on the list is The Giver. I was warned by another homeschool mom that there are some sensitive topics that get brought up in here. So just something to keep in mind if you're going to be diving into The Giver. And this will be about over 26 days reading. And I know they do this because you're supposed to be reading a chapter a day. So that's kind of how they make it work. Now, you will also be incorporating poetry. So like I said, they have their whole poetry unit that I will find. It tells you how to use the poetry. So so as a recommended schedule, it says that they are to study one poem per week. If you're using it separately from their full curriculum, they also recommend using it one poem per week. So whichever way you choose, it's about one poem per week. And there are 30 poems, so you can easily flex your schedule to make them fit in your school year. So I'm excited about that. I think she's really gonna like this. I've been wanting to add poetry to our collection. So the only other thing that we're going to be doing to continue with our language arts is we're still going to be doing the Philosophy for Kids book. We are not very far into it as we kind of took a break from it, but we are going to get back to this. This is an excellent book. I absolutely 100% love the conversations that come out of the topics that are in here. We don't necessarily do them in order, but we have really loved doing this. Now I have gone and hemmed and hawed on whether or not we will be doing the Good and the Beautiful Language Arts for their geography and art. Now I know it isn't all in one curriculum, and you might think, why get that too? Well, my daughter really loves to read the books that the Good and the Beautiful has. And that's what she's done this year, and I've kind of let her just kind of do her own thing. So I'm still in the discussion of if she really needs to do that next year, or if what we have is solid and we don't need to add anything else onto her plate, as that would add an extra thing for her. But I think this Hearth and Story is going to give us a really good leeway as to what we're going to be doing. I did want to show you, so the unit study for the novel study, whatever, for Over the Moon is really nice. It goes over all the materials and standards that you would need. It goes over like an as you read, what to look for kind of thing. And then it's super easy. Like, I really didn't want it to be too challenging for her. I wanted it to be just enough. And so, for instance, chapter 1 is a brainstorm. You are to take a look at the single sentence that begins the book. Brainstorm for a moment what it might mean and what the themes might appear as in this book. And then that's it for chapter 1. So it's gentle, but like enough. Like, it's still going to cover the basic reading components. So I'm really, really excited and looking forward to that. If she decides that she wants to do more than one chapter, if she's enjoying the book, then that's how it's going to be. I'm going to kind of let her have a little bit of free reign there. So let's see, we covered reading, we covered writing, we covered grammar, we covered vocab, we covered spelling. So we have all the components right there. That's why I really don't want to have to go through and print out the Good and the Beautiful again for language arts, because I just don't think it's necessary. But I wish they would come out with a separate art and a separate geography, because I'd be all over that. It would be amazing to see that from the Good and the Beautiful, as my daughter really loves those two things from their program. So I haven't decided if I'm going to go with that or not. Right now, we do not have anything for art or geography for the following year. So I might print it out for those aspects, but honestly, I just don't know. If you have any recommendations for me that you know of that is really beautiful geography and art, that's not just like kind of a workbook kind of thing. I mean, I know it's like that in the Good and the Beautiful too. It's very workbooky. But let me know. I don't want to have to print out a whole curriculum for just those components. I would love to hear your thoughts down below. Let me know if you want to see a further in-depth of any of these. These are my language arts pick. Stay tuned. I'm going to have math coming to you and all the things. So you're going to get a lot of videos. So I will try to list a playlist link down below where they'll be all in one place for you, where you can access them. I'm probably going to have a lot within like a week to get them all out for you. So thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe to help my channel, and I'll see you in my next one.